And you've got a lot of stuff going on in your life now, but the final football season of or football game of the season at home. How are the feelings going into that?
Oh, there's a ton of feelings. It's it's so special to kind of look back on the last 5 years and really look at everything that's gone on in that stadium and all the wins and the memories, and it's kind of approaching it with a lot of emotion, and
right.
And I know a lot of the other senior guys are doing the same, but it's gonna be a great day, and I think we're gonna play really well, so I'm excited for it.
If you don't mind, could you pick out a couple of those memories and talk about those? For instance, what's the biggest thing that stands out for you?
I think the biggest thing for me anyway would be I think 2 years ago when we had Indianapolis at home too. I got on the field for the first time and actually had my first catch, and that was a lot of fun, and so I really enjoyed that, and that's just something I always remember.
Take me through the play. What was it?
Oh, it was actually Dominic Bassesi was our quarterback at the time. It was, I think, the fourth quarter, and we were getting beat, but I was the inside receiver on the right side, and we were on about the 8-yard line, and I just ran a little spot now, and Dom whipped it out there to me, and I picked up about 5 or 6 yards before their linebacker brought me down, but it was really special.
As always. Fourth down and about 2.5 here for the Cardinals. They're going to eschew the field goal and go for it here.
3 yards to go.
It's a long 2 yards. 3 may be a better estimate. Mask is the running back. Blitz shown again here by Kirkpatrick. And it's Strauss. They'll leave it in his hands. He's throwing. He's got a man in the end zone. Caught!
Wow,
and a flag down.
Defensive pass interference, I believe. They had another man in the end zone. It looked like Weiland was open, but looked like a push off there on defense, and that's going to give them the 6. So the Cardinals get on the board. How about that?
That touchdown this year. What was that like?
That was very special. I was. It was just one of those plays that Brad really deserves a ton of credit. He got outside the pocket, and we actually had the play drawn up for the tight end, but kind of things happen, and we improvise, and I think that's something offensively we've become really good at, is just play breaks down, we're gonna find people, and so I just kind of I had a 5-yard out route and just turned it upfield and found myself in the end zone one-on-one, and Brad just kind of put it out to my side, and so I was just kind of able to lean over, grab it, and get a foot in bounds, and it was a great moment.
Never going to forget that, are you?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, because I was thinking about this watching the game on TV last night, that there was a memorable play, we don't need to go into that, but they kept showing the guy over and over, and I'm thinking, can you let a play go after you've had a touchdown or something? Do you, or is that always kind of glowing inside you for the next few plays or whatever?
I think it definitely sticks with you for a couple plays, no matter how bad you, whether it be good or bad, how bad you want to flush it. It definitely can stick around, but I do think that there's some of the best athletes, and I think Coach Weigel and a lot of our coaching staff are really good about teaching us to do this, to kind of move on and really reel your focus back in. Because that's the biggest thing, is whenever you do achieve these great plays and everything works together, or not so great, your focus kind of leans one way or the other. And so bringing that focus back on track into the middle is really important, and really something that I think we've learned to do really well.
Right. You bring up a really good point, and not just individually, but for this team, there's no denying we've struggled to win games. Yeah. We've been competitive and all that, but we've struggled to win. How do you put that into perspective, and what do you learn from that going forward with the rest of your life?
I think that's it's something that we've dealt with multiple times, but I think over and over we've been really good. We've been able to pull out the good things from those, some of these losses, these really close ones, and where we figured out, okay, we're really good in this situation, and we need to continue to work on how we present ourselves and what kind of product we're putting out on the field in other situations. So that's kind of, that's been tough to deal with, but at the same time, it's taught definitely our team a lot, but also I think myself, and you got to fail to succeed a lot of times.
I believe in
that. I wholeheartedly believe in that, and I think that's a really good life lesson, and definitely something that Coach Weigel and everybody, we've talked about multiple times is, you got to do it. Have to put in the work now for the product later.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, let's talk about later. You're going to graduate this spring.
Yes, sir, yeah.
You raced here to do the interview after student teaching. What's your student teaching experience like?
It's phenomenal right now. I'm up at Excelsior Springs High School, teaching in Western Civilizations, which is a freshman class, and then I also have one class of juniors and seniors, and that's sociology. And it's definitely a learning experience for me, and I think it's quite a learning experience for my students. They're being very patient with me, which I really appreciate. But it's a lot of fun, and like I said, I'm just absolutely learning a ton.
Yeah. So what did it feel like to be called Mr. Burch for the first time?
It was very. It was I had to kind of do a double take. I was like, oh man, they're talking to me, they're addressing me. So with the combination of history and teaching, that sounds like coaching's in your future. Go that way. Yes. Yeah, for sure. I actually was fortunate enough to coach with Coach Thomas at Lee Summit High School this summer. He kind of allowed me to come on, and I did some assistant wide receiver head coach, wide receiver coaching there, and was really able to bond with a lot of those guys, and it was really cool to just go back as alumni and see the work that these guys are continuing to put in, and really bring that all full circle, and how I've kind of going into my senior year at Jewell, just kind of getting there and getting to see the process. So it was really special, and I look forward to coaching in the future, definitely.
Former Lee Summit Tiger.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
And tell me, growing up in Lee Summit, tell me a little bit about your family.
Oh man, I have a sister. She's actually out there at basketball practice right now. Ian Burch, who's a freshman here at Jewell. But growing up in Lee Summit was a great experience. Definitely a family oriented town. I was gonna say small town, but it's not so small anymore.
No, it's not.
But my mom and dad have always worked really hard and instilled that in my sister and I, and that's just something that I'm really blessed. I know my upbringing was very special in that way, and so they raised us to be respectful and polite, and it's definitely, looking back on it, that's the way I'm going to raise my family. So.
Well, you are certainly those things, and you are going to be a graduating Jewell student, which says a lot about you academically. Yeah. I've seen you play football. I know you're pretty good at that, so it sounds like you got things going in the right direction.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Ian, thank you so much for spending time with us. Best of luck the rest of the year, and get after that coaching job. And when I call you Mr. Burch, remember, that's a sign of respect. Right?
Yeah, it is. All right. I appreciate it, Rick.
You're welcome. And we'll be back with the second half in a moment.